From the CAL FIRE Information Center, I'm Scott McLean with the CAL FIRE Report for Tuesday, September 4th, 2018. If you do have any questions during this broadcast, please put them in the comments section on the Facebook and we will try to answer them at the end. While most of Californians have spent the long holiday weekend enjoying the end of summer activities, firefighters were battling over 170 new wildfires across the state. You can see on our statewide map that while several of the significant wildfires have been contained, firefighters still remain on the front lines of roughly 14 significant wildfires up and down the state. Now moving on to our graphics, we're looking at roughly in CAL FIRE's jurisdiction, 153 wildfires we responded to last week out of the 172 statewide. 2018 stats were up to 4,587 wildland fire responses, now burning a total of 613,710 acres. This went down from last week's totals as far as acreage due to the fact that we took the ranch fire and split it up between what was actually the Forest Service land and the state land. So that's why you see a difference here. The state side, or excuse me, the Forest Service side did go up in acreage. 2017, for a comparison, you can see we're still ahead of the amount of fires we responded to, and definitely a significant change in acreage still between the 2 years. So let's take a closer look at some of these significant fires that firefighters are battling. We'll start in Shasta County where CAL FIRE is actually in unified command with the Shasta Trinity National Forest on the HERS fire east of Lakehead. The priority for firefighters on the HERS fires at this point is to continue to strengthen those control lines around the western and northern parts of that fire, as well as to continue to extinguish and remove any burning vegetation and hazard trees near those control lines. Crews have begun fire suppression repair activities to help rehabilitate and to repair those areas that have been affected by the firefighting efforts. This is a common thing that we do on every fire. The HERS fire is now at 60% contained at just over 46,000 acres burned as of this morning's update. Next, we'll move on to the ranch fires we discussed earlier, which has parts of it in Colusa, Glenn, Lake, and actually Mendocino counties. It is now being managed by the Mendocino National Forest, and according to the U.S. Forest Service, the ranch fire is currently a little over 410,000 acres and at 98% contained. Full containment is expected to be on Sunday, September 9th. And then yesterday, in Placer County, the North Fire sparked south of Immigrant Gap. CAL FIRE is assisting the Tahoe National Forest on that fire. And according to the Tahoe National Forest latest update as of this morning, it has grown to 500 acres and is 10% contained. This is predominantly in timber. You can find more information on the North Fire on the Tahoe National Forest Facebook page at facebook.com/Tahoe, N as in Nancy, F as in Forest. Another thing I want to bring up too, right now to date this year from January 1st, approximately 1,258,000 acres have burned. Keep in mind last year just over 1.4 million acres burned all of last year. And finally, an update on the destructive car fire in Shasta County that started back in late July in Whiskeytown. The car fire has fully contained as of Thursday, August 30th, and at just under 230,000 acres burned. The car fire ranks as the 6th most destructive wildfire in California's recorded history, destroying just over 1,600 structures. Switching over to our weather headlines for this week, we've got some significant forecasted weather events on the way, which are expected to elevate the fire danger. Now don't be complacent that we're looking at cooler weather. We're still dealing with lower humidities and the winds. First, in Northern California, we're expecting gusty winds up to 30 miles per hour in and around the Sacramento Valley and east of the Cascade Sierra Crest, starting Wednesday and going through Friday. So we need to be very careful. And starting Friday and going through the weekend in Southern California, we're forecast to see a significant drop in humidity across the lower foothills, which could mean an increased potential for large fires in those areas. As you can see here, Fresno 17 up to Tahoe, which we're involved in now with the North Fire at 14% later on this week. And you can see the dark red in these areas as well. September is National Preparedness Month. A perfect opportunity to make sure you and your family are prepared if a disaster, like a wildfire, strikes near you. This includes having an evacuation plan with 2 ways out, being prepared with an emergency supply kit, and paying attention to local alerts and warnings, and going, as I've always said, early in the event of an evacuation or evacuation order or advisory is placed. Remember, fires don't think ahead, but you can be prepared and you can think ahead. Now keep in mind, a lot of evacuations on that North Fire yesterday took place in various campgrounds in the area. So not just being at home, but also when you're camping, be prepared. Know your area.